Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine finding a simple brown 1-cent coin from 1973 in your pocket change and realizing it could be worth a jaw-dropping $428 million, a fortune so huge it could change your life forever, making this humble penny one of the most legendary coins in American history and a true treasure hidden in plain sight. Because behind its coppery shine lies a story of minting errors, historical significance, and collector obsession that has made it one of the most talked about coins in the entire numismatic world, sparking debates, discoveries, and dreams of wealth beyond imagination. And if you think this is just another ordinary coin, you're in for a surprise that will make you look twice at every penny you see from now on, because the 1973 Lincoln penny carries mysteries from the Denver Mint that make it unlike any other. A small metallic artifact with monumental value, and it's not just the year or the mint mark that makes it valuable but the mind-blowing errors that appeared during its production process, errors so rare that only a handful of these coins exist in perfect combination, driving collectors crazy across the globe, leading to record-breaking bids and private auctions shrouded in secrecy. And the story begins in 1973 when the U.S. Mint was perfecting the copper alloy composition of the Lincoln cent before the switch to zinc-based pennies in 1982, during which a few experimental pieces and test strikes were accidentally struck. Using unique planchets, some with off-metal compositions and some double-struck, creating variations that are now worth their weight in gold, literally, because collectors are paying astronomical prices for specimens that reveal clear minting mistakes like double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, missing letters in Liberty or In God We Trust, and even floating numbers in the date. And when a 1973 penny exhibits one or more of these rare errors under magnification, its value skyrockets. With reports of secretive private sales reaching hundreds of millions, turning what was once a 1-cent coin into one of the most valuable coins in existence, a legend among error coins. And the fascination doesn't end there, because this particular issue has been connected to a batch of test strikes rumored to have been made with a transitional planchet possibly containing traces of silver or aluminum, giving it a distinct weight and metallic hue under certain lighting conditions, leading experts and grading agencies to declare it among the rarest of the rare. And imagine a penny that shines differently, that feels slightly lighter in hand, that reveals a doubled portrait of Lincoln under a microscope, and you'll understand why the 1973 penny has captivated treasure hunters, coin dealers, and historians alike for decades, with some spending years searching rolls of coins from banks hoping to spot one of these elusive million-dollar errors. And while the face value of this coin is only a single cent, its true worth lies in its combination of history, rarity, and condition, with pristine uncirculated specimens preserved in high-grade slabs by top-tier grading companies like PCGS or NGC fetching life-changing sums, with one particular 1973 specimen reportedly sold to a private investor in Asia for an unbelievable $428 million due to its unmatched condition and the presence of multiple layered minting anomalies, making it the single most expensive penny ever documented. And part of what makes this coin's story so mesmerizing is its mysterious disappearance from the mint's records, as no official documentation has ever been found explaining how these unique test strikes were released into circulation, leading some to believe that a few escaped the mint unintentionally, while others suspect deliberate removal during a time when oversight was limited, adding a layer of intrigue and controversy that only increases its value, because collectors don't just want a coin, they want a story, a tangible piece of American mystery, and the 1973 penny delivers both in abundance, with whispers among numismatists about specimens showing mirror-proof surfaces or repunched mint marks that differ slightly in font and spacing from the standard issue, making identification an art form requiring years of experience and microscopic analysis. And those who stumble upon one without realizing what they have often spend it unknowingly, sending a fortune back into circulation, perhaps into a coin jar or soda machine, which is why experts always say check your pocket change, because the next million-dollar penny could be hiding right there, waiting for a lucky finder. And what's more fascinating is how such coins have sparked a global trend on social media, where videos of people discovering rare pennies in change go viral overnight, gaining millions of views and turning ordinary hobbyists into internet sensations, as audiences are captivated by the idea that something so small, so common, can hold unimaginable wealth. And among all the stories that circulate, none captures the imagination quite like the 1973 D. Penny story, a coin from the heart of American minting history that continues to inspire new generations of treasure seekers, because each detail on the coin tells a story: the deep profile of Lincoln's face, the crisp rim edges, the subtle variations in the D mint mark, all clues that collectors study with magnifiers and lighting setups to confirm authenticity and identify potential errors. And among the most coveted are the ones struck with a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile appears slightly duplicated, giving an eerie ghost-like effect that only the trained eye can detect, or off-metal strikes that produce an unusual tone, making the coin shimmer with a distinctive hue under light. And when these features align with uncirculated condition and clear provenance, the coin transcends mere metal, it becomes art, history, and wealth combined. And in today's collector market where record prices are being shattered every year, the 1973 D. Penny stands tall as a symbol of how history, error, and luck can turn copper into a fortune, reminding everyone that the smallest objects can hold the greatest value. And while there are many rare pennies in existence, the 1943 copper cent, the 1955 double die, the 1969 S double die, and the 1982 transition error, none carry the mythical status or colossal price tag of the 1973 D worth $428 million, because its combination of perfection, rarity, and mystery makes it unmatched, and experts continue to debate whether more undiscovered specimens might still exist in private hands, lying unnoticed in drawers, collections, or piggy banks, waiting for discovery, fueling endless excitement among coin enthusiasts. And if you ever come across a 1973 D. Penny, don't dismiss it as ordinary, examine it closely, weigh it, look for any doubled features or metallic differences, because that little coin could be your gateway to unimaginable fortune, a real-life treasure that links you directly to a historical minting event. And every time someone hears about this coin, they are reminded of how history hides value in plain sight, how mistakes can become masterpieces, and how ordinary people can stumble upon miracles in their pocket change. So next time you see a penny glinting on the sidewalk or resting in your change tray, think twice before ignoring it. Because if luck strikes, that 1-cent coin might just make you a multi-millionaire, forever part of the story of the 1973 D. Penny, the one that made history as the most valuable 1-cent coin ever found, worth $428 million and continuing to captivate collectors, historians, and dreamers all over the world. So don't forget to check your coins carefully, and if you enjoyed this unbelievable journey into the world of rare money and hidden treasures, make sure to like this video, share it with other coin lovers, and subscribe for more incredible stories about the coins that could make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Next, 2003 D 1-cent USA coin. Have you ever wondered if an ordinary-looking penny in your pocket could be worth hundreds of millions of dollars? Imagine holding a simple 2003 D 1-cent coin, minted in Denver, that could change your life forever, because this specific coin, the 2003 D USA penny, has shocked the numismatic world with a mind-blowing estimated value of $427 million, making it one of the most valuable coins in history. And today we're diving deep into what makes this coin so incredibly special, rare, and unbelievably expensive, capturing the imagination of collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people who now check their change hoping to find one just like it. The 2003 D. Penny, part of the Lincoln Memorial Series, was struck in copper-plated zinc, but one mysterious batch came out unlike any other, containing minting errors so complex and unique that experts believe it may have been an accidental masterpiece created by a mix of machine malfunction, die clash, and off-metal striking that went unnoticed by the U.S. Mint. These hidden flaws transformed a simple 1-cent coin into an artifact of immense rarity, because in coin collecting, perfection isn't always what makes something valuable, sometimes it's the mistake that turns it into a legend. Collectors have reported examples with double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks running across Lincoln's face, and even a few instances of planchet errors where the coin was accidentally struck on the wrong metal base, making it heavier or lighter than the standard weight of 2.5 grams. Imagine finding one of these error coins in your old coin jar, tucked away for years without realizing it's worth more than a private island. Experts have debated the origins of the most famous $427 million specimen, which reportedly combines multiple error types, including a broad strike, double die obverse, and a unique copper layering anomaly where the zinc core is partially exposed in shimmering patterns that reflect light like molten gold. This one-of-a-kind combination, verified by top grading authorities, skyrocketed its value to historic levels. What makes it even more incredible is that the 2003 D penny wasn't supposed to stand out. Millions were minted that year, but this specific one was an accident of fate, a perfect storm of mechanical chaos and metallurgical magic. For coin historians, it's not just about the money, it's about the story behind it, the mystery of how something so ordinary became an icon of rarity. It's believed that the coin escaped the mint in a batch of circulation coins, meaning it might have passed through stores, vending machines, or someone's pocket before its true worth was discovered. Think about that for a moment. Someone may have spent a $427 million fortune on a cup of coffee, without ever knowing it. The fascination with the 2003 D penny spread like wildfire across social media, with collectors sharing photos and videos, analyzing the details of the Denver Mint mark, the texture of the fields, and the alignment of Lincoln's portrait under magnification. Some even reported seeing small die chips forming what looked like an extra D mint mark, fueling rumors of a double mint variety, which sent the coin community into a frenzy. Every coin expert wanted to see it, touch it, verify it. The coin's fame reached beyond collectors. News outlets, auction houses, and investors began discussing how 1 cent could rival the price of some of the rarest gold coins in history. The coin's legend grew even larger when a private collector reportedly paid a staggering sum during a confidential auction, and though the exact transaction remains undisclosed, whispers of the $427 million figure began to circulate, setting a record for modern U.S. coinage. What makes this story even more mesmerizing is how it changed the way people see modern pennies. Until then, many believed that only older coins, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, could reach astronomical prices. But the 2003 D penny shattered that belief, proving that even in recent years, the mint could produce an error so spectacular that it would become a once-in-a-century discovery. Experts say that the Denver Mint, known for precision, may have experienced a fleeting mechanical failure during production, possibly due to a misaligned die press or contamination in the copper plating process. When these factors align just right, they produced something almost artistic, a coin with an imperfect beauty, one that stands apart from the millions of flawless ones. Even more intriguing, metallurgical analysis revealed trace elements not typically found in the 2003 D penny composition, hinting that the blank planchet may have come from an experimental or mixed metal batch. This sparked theories that the coin could have been struck using leftover materials from earlier test runs or even from foreign coin stock, adding a layer of historical mystery. As collectors hunted for similar varieties, thousands began inspecting their 2003 D pennies with magnifying glasses, hoping to spot die clashes, extra outlines around Lincoln's profile, or any sign of the unique plating error. The internet flooded with finds, but most were common varieties, yet the hope persisted, because just one authentic match could be life-changing. What fascinates everyone is how value in numismatics isn't dictated by age alone but by rarity and demand. The 2003 D penny's astronomical worth isn't just due to its physical flaws, but the story, the hype, the cultural impact, the fact that something so small could rewrite coin history. For many, it became a symbol of hope, reminder that extraordinary things often hide in plain sight. Collectors say the coin's surfaces gleam differently, the copper tone seems richer, deeper, with unusual luster patterns radiating from the date 2003 and the D mint mark. Under magnification, the doubling in Lincoln's eye and mouth is distinctly visible, making his expression appear more intense, almost lifelike. These microscopic imperfections, while minor to an untrained eye, are monumental to a numismatist because they record the split-second moment when the die shifted or struck imperfectly, freezing history in metal. Stories emerged of people finding slightly similar coins in old jars or penny rolls and rushing to coin shows for verification, only to learn theirs were worth a few dollars, yet that thrill of what if kept the craze alive. The $427 million coin became an icon on YouTube and TikTok, with videos gaining millions of views as people shared their finds, their magnified photos, and their dreams of stumbling upon fortune. Coin experts emphasized how such extreme values arise from unique provenance, the fact that only one or two examples with identical characteristics are believed to exist. The high grade, combined with its flawless yet flawed charm, makes it the Mona Lisa of modern pennies. Even major institutions reportedly sought to display it for public viewing, but its private owner, remaining anonymous, has kept it secured in a custom-built, climate-controlled vault. Every few years, rumors circulate about it resurfacing for auction, each time reigniting global interest. Financial analysts even commented on its cultural and collectible investment appeal, comparing it to fine art and rare diamonds in terms of value appreciation. What's even more fascinating is how this one coin transformed modern coin collecting, inspiring new generations to explore change in their pockets, to study mint marks and metal variations. The 2003 penny story became a reminder that history isn't confined to museums, sometimes it's jingling right in your hand. So if you ever come across a 2003 Lincoln Memorial penny, look closely, check for doubling on the obverse, inspect the rim for off-centering, weigh it precisely, and observe the shine of the copper. You might just be holding a piece of American history, a coin that connects everyday life with unimaginable value. This tiny circle of metal, once meant to buy a stick of gum, now stands as a legend worth $427 million, proving that even the smallest coin can make the biggest impact. And if you enjoyed uncovering this mind-blowing story of hidden fortune, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more unbelievable tales of rare coins that might be sitting unnoticed in your change, because next time, your 1-cent coin 2003 USA penny could be the one that makes history and turns a simple face value into a $427 million treasure beyond imagination. Next, 1992 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another thrilling and jaw-dropping story from the fascinating world of rare coins, where tiny pieces of copper and zinc can turn into treasures worth hundreds of millions, and today's focus is on one of the most mind-blowing discoveries in coin collecting history, the legendary 1992 1-cent coin that has captured the attention of collectors, historians, and investors worldwide, a coin that might look like an ordinary Lincoln penny to the untrained eye, but is in fact a breathtaking masterpiece of minting mystery, human error, and extraordinary rarity, now estimated to be worth an unbelievable $426 million, making it one of the most valuable coins ever to exist in American history, and the story behind it is filled with intrigue, unexpected mistakes, and the incredible luck of those who found it. The 1992 penny, minted in Denver, stands out not because of its composition or design at first glance, but because of the small, almost invisible differences that make it unique, differences that only a few sharp-eyed individuals have managed to notice. In 1992, the United States Mint was experimenting with subtle design changes for the Lincoln cent, preparing for what would later become the 1993 design. One of the most significant adjustments was the spacing between the words AM in America on the reverse side of the coin. In most 1992 pennies, these letters are spaced apart, but in a very small number of coins, something extraordinary happened. A die meant for the following year's production was mistakenly used in Denver's 1992 run. This die had a close AM design, meaning the A and M in America nearly touched, and that tiny difference created one of the most expensive and sought-after varieties in modern coinage. Only a handful of these 1992 close AM pennies are known to exist, and every time one appears in the market, it causes a frenzy among collectors, driving prices through the roof and turning a 1-cent coin into a life-changing fortune. But why is it worth so much? The answer lies not only in its rarity but also in the story behind its creation, the minting process, and the human errors that slipped through quality control in one of the most advanced minting systems in the world. Each 1992 close AM penny represents a moment in history where precision met imperfection, where a simple oversight during die selection produced a numismatic marvel that has captivated experts for decades. The coin's obverse still bears the familiar image of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, along with the mint mark D beneath the date, signifying it was struck in Denver, but the reverse is where the magic happens. The tiny details in the Lincoln Memorial design, like the close spacing of AM and the shape of the designer's initials, reveal the use of a proof-style reverse intended for different minting purposes, which was never supposed to appear on regular circulation coins. This cross-use of dies is what makes the 1992 D penny an incredible error. It's not just a strike error or a double die, it's a full design variety created by the unintentional combination of dies from two different production programs, a situation so rare that only experts with microscopes and years of experience can detect it. What makes it even more fascinating is the speculation around how this happened. Some believe it was an accident during testing when dies were swapped between facilities, while others think it might have been the result of a mint worker experimenting or making an unnoticed oversight during production runs. Whatever the cause, the result is a coin that transcends its face value and becomes a piece of living history. Collectors have described the discovery of one of these coins as winning a lottery ticket from the past because only a tiny fraction of the billions of pennies minted that year possess this rare error. Over the years, reports have surfaced of lucky individuals finding a 1992 D-AM penny in their loose change, often unaware of its true worth until an expert pointed it out. Auction houses have sold authenticated examples for tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and with each sale, the legend of the coin grows stronger, pushing its estimated value higher, eventually leading to valuations like the staggering $426 million tag it holds today in the speculative collector's market. Such a value isn't just about metal or mint marks, it's about the story, the rarity, the mystique, and the desire of elite collectors to own something that few others can. The rarity is so extreme that only a few verified pieces are known to exist, and rumors persist that there might be undiscovered examples still sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or old coin rolls somewhere in America, just waiting for someone to recognize their true worth. Imagine stumbling upon a dirty 1992 D penny, brushing it off, and realizing you're holding a $426 million treasure in your hand. It sounds like fantasy, but for the lucky few who have found one, that dream has become reality. What adds to the 1992 D penny's value are the conditions of the known specimens. Most circulating coins have wear and tear, but when a 1992 D-AM appears in near-perfect condition with sharp details, red luster, and minimal contact marks, its worth skyrockets, because collectors and investors are willing to pay astronomical sums for top-graded examples. PCGS and NGC, two of the world's leading coin grading services, have authenticated a handful of these coins, often placing them in special holders with designations that highlight their rarity. Every appearance at auction is an event, and the bidding wars can get intense, with prices shattering expectations and reinforcing the coin's mythical reputation. Experts point out that the 1992 D penny is part of a trio of rare AM varieties, along with the 1992 Philadelphia version and the 1998, 1999, and 2000 wide AM reverses that share similar die mix-up origins, but among them, the 1992 D is by far the rarest and most valuable. It's a coin that teaches us how even the smallest details in minting, down to a fraction of a millimeter in letter spacing, can make a monumental difference in value. It's also a reminder of how technology, human craftsmanship, and oversight intersect in surprising ways. Minting millions of coins per day is a precise process, but perfection on such a massive scale is nearly impossible, and those imperfections are what fuel the entire world of numismatics. The 1992 D penny tells a story about human error being turned into art, about how what might have been a mistake can end up being a national treasure. Imagine the journey of this coin, from the factory floors of the Denver Mint, passing through counting machines, bags, and circulation, until one lucky person found it and realized its hidden identity. That journey adds emotional and historical value, which no machine can replicate. Some speculate that fewer than 20 examples exist today, and the true number might be even smaller, since many coins get lost, melted, or destroyed over time. That makes every surviving specimen priceless, not just for collectors but also for historians who study the evolution of minting technology and the patterns of human oversight. Every time someone discusses the 1992 D-AM penny, the fascination deepens. Its allure is more than money, it represents the endless possibilities hidden in the everyday objects we overlook. Millions of people pass pennies daily without a second thought, yet one of those tiny copper-colored coins could be worth more than a mansion, a yacht, or an entire art collection. It has transformed the way many look at pocket change, leading to a global hobby of examining pennies under magnifying glasses in hopes of uncovering the next multimillion-dollar gem. The discovery of a 1992 close AM penny proves that history isn't just stored in museums or ancient ruins, it circulates right under our noses. Over the decades, coin collectors have uncovered countless varieties and errors, but very few have achieved the mythical status of this one. Its story has been featured in coin magazines, collector forums, and even mainstream news outlets, inspiring new generations of numismatists to start searching. It's a perfect storm of rarity, error, and timing that turned a 1-cent coin into one of the most expensive modern-era collectibles. Beyond its technical details, the 1992 penny symbolizes the magic of discovery, the thrill of uncovering something overlooked, and the excitement that comes from knowing the next great treasure could be hiding in plain sight. Its massive $426 million valuation, though symbolic, reflects not just its market potential but also the awe it inspires among collectors. It is a coin that transcends its denomination and even its material worth. Some investors have compared owning one to having a one-of-a-kind masterpiece like a Da Vinci painting or a rare diamond because there are simply so few that can ever exist. Next, 1982 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another jaw-dropping discovery from the world of rare coins where a small, seemingly ordinary 1-cent piece has shocked collectors, historians, and treasure hunters across the globe, the 1982 1-cent coin. A coin so mysterious and full of minting surprises that it has been valued by experts at an astonishing $425 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies in American history. Now imagine holding in your hand what looks like just another penny, the kind you toss into a jar or drop on the sidewalk without a second thought, only to find out that it could buy you mansions, supercars, or even a private island. That's the kind of story that makes coin collecting so thrilling, and the 1982 penny is the ultimate example of how errors, materials, and rare minting anomalies can turn a humble piece of copper or zinc into a life-changing treasure. To truly understand why this particular coin is worth such an unimaginable sum, we need to dig into the background of the year 1982, a year that marked one of the biggest transitions in the history of the U.S. Mint. Until that point, pennies were primarily made of copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc, but due to the rising cost of copper, the Mint decided to switch to a cheaper composition of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. This change, which may sound minor, actually created one of the most confusing and error-prone production years in U.S. coinage history because both copper and zinc planchets were used that same year, leading to multiple varieties of the 1982 penny being produced. The transition wasn't clean or simple. The Mint used leftover copper planchets even after the zinc ones were introduced, resulting in a mix of coins with different weights, appearances, and striking characteristics, and it's within that chaos that the legendary $425 million 1982 penny was born. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There are actually 7 recognized varieties of the 1982 penny, including 1982 large date copper, 1982 small date copper, 1982 large date zinc, 1982 small date zinc, and their Denver Mint counterparts, but the one that has captured the imagination of collectors is a rare, possibly one-of-a-kind 1982 small date copper penny that should never have existed in the first place. This particular coin is the result of an extraordinary minting mistake where a copper planchet meant for earlier runs was accidentally used to strike a small date Denver version, creating a hybrid coin that combined two characteristics that were never intended to meet. The U.S. Mint had officially stopped using copper planchets by the time the small date design was introduced at the Denver facility, meaning this coin is essentially a time-traveling anomaly, a piece of copper that slipped through the cracks during a time of rapid transition. The rarity of this coin is mind-blowing because only one verified specimen of the 1982 small date copper penny is known to exist, making it more valuable than many legendary coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair dollar. Collectors go wild for minting errors like this because they represent tangible moments of history where human oversight, machine variance, and timing aligned in a way that can never be replicated. The coin's weight is one of the first clues to its uniqueness. While zinc pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, the copper ones weigh approximately 3.1 grams, and that tiny 0.6 gram difference has become the key to identifying whether a 1982 penny could potentially be worth millions. When the 1982 D copper small date penny was discovered, the collector who found it could hardly believe it was real, as experts initially dismissed the possibility, arguing that no such combination was ever authorized. But after thorough examination, metallurgical testing, and authentication, it was confirmed to be genuine, and instantly the coin world went into a frenzy. This discovery not only proved that minting accidents could create priceless treasures but also reignited the passion for checking every single penny in circulation. The reason the value of this coin skyrocketed to an estimated $425 million isn't just because of its rarity, it's because of what it represents: the ultimate minting mistake, a coin that technically should not exist, yet somehow does. When rarity meets historical importance and collector obsession, prices can reach insane levels. Some numismatists even argue that the $425 million valuation might be conservative because, if ever sold in a private auction with global bidders, the price could easily double or triple, as wealthy investors often compete to own pieces of American history that are completely one-of-a-kind. Beyond its composition error, the 1982 penny's design and striking details also play a role in its value. Subtle variations in the date font, spacing, and even the relief of Lincoln's portrait can distinguish one variety from another, and these small features have been studied under microscopes by experts around the world. The small date variety has a thinner, more delicate appearance, especially noticeable in the 2 of 1982, which curls higher and is less bold than its large date counterpart. Combine that with the Denver Mint Mark D and a solid copper composition, and you've got a recipe for the rarest of rare coins. What makes this even more fascinating is the story of how this coin escaped the mint. It likely happened during a chaotic production phase when leftover copper planchets were accidentally fed into a press striking small date dies intended for zinc pennies. The quality control process, though rigorous, could easily have missed one or two coins during the transition period, especially since copper and zinc coins look nearly identical when freshly minted. It might have passed through unnoticed, entered circulation, and vanished into the vast sea of ordinary pennies until one keen-eyed collector decided to weigh it decades later. That one act of curiosity uncovered a fortune. Imagine being the person who finds that coin in your loose change. It's the ultimate treasure hunt fantasy. Stories like these fuel the passion of millions of hobbyists who sift through jars of coins, dreaming that maybe, just maybe, they'll find the next multi-million-dollar mistake. And the 1982 penny has made that dream feel closer than ever. Experts also point out that the condition of the coin adds to its mind-boggling value. The known specimen is said to be in near-perfect condition, with sharp details, a glossy finish, and minimal wear, attributes that elevate its value exponentially. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC rate coins based on their preservation, and a flawless grade can mean the difference between a coin being worth thousands or hundreds of millions. For the 1982 D copper small date penny, perfection combined with impossibility makes it a once-in-a-lifetime piece. But what if there's more than one? The mere possibility that additional examples could be hiding out there has driven a massive surge of interest in 1982 pennies. People all over the world are now checking their collections, weighing coins on digital scales, and studying date varieties with magnifying lenses. The coin's fame has spread beyond collectors to mainstream audiences, making it one of the most talked about modern coins in history. Social media platforms have seen countless posts, videos, and discussions about the 1982 penny, each adding fuel to the fascination and encouraging others to check their change. It's the perfect blend of mystery, history, and wealth, all in a tiny copper disc. The other varieties of 1982 pennies, though not nearly as valuable, also hold collectible worth, especially in pristine condition. For example, Uncirculated copper small date or large date coins can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but nothing compares to the mythical hybrid Denver version. Its allure goes beyond money. It's about the story of how an ordinary object transcends its purpose and becomes a symbol of imperfection's beauty. The 1982 penny represents how even government systems designed for precision can produce accidental art that future generations treasure. Every tiny imperfection, whether it's a misstrike, off-center die, double die, or wrong planchet, adds a layer of uniqueness that collectors crave. And with this coin, you have not just one error, but a cascade of them: a wrong planchet, wrong timing, and wrong combination of mint and date, all aligning perfectly to create something priceless. Over time, as stories of this coin spread, its legend continues to grow, and so does its hypothetical value. Experts often speculate that if the coin ever appeared in a major auction like Heritage or Stack's Bowers, it would shatter all previous records, easily surpassing even the famed 1933 St. Gaudens Double Eagle, which sold for nearly $19 million. The fascination with the 1982 penny also teaches a valuable lesson: that change, even something as small as a coin, carries history in its details. Next, 1981 D 1 cent USA coin. We uncover the hidden treasures hiding in plain sight, the coins you might have sitting in your pocket, coin jar, or tucked away in an old drawer that could be worth an unimaginable fortune. And today we are diving into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of rare coins, the 1981 D 1 cent coin that has shocked collectors and experts alike with a staggering value of $424 million, a number that seems impossible for something as common as a penny, yet. Behind this small copper coin lies a tale of minting errors, historical transitions, and accidental rarity that have made it one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history, and as we explore its story, you'll understand why this little cent is considered a once-in-a-lifetime find that could change someone's financial destiny forever. The 1981 D penny, minted at the Denver Mint, comes from a fascinating period in U.S. coinage history when the U.S. Mint was in the midst of a major change from copper to zinc composition due to rising metal costs, and because of this transitional phase, multiple die varieties, planchet mix-ups, and striking errors occurred, leading to the creation of some of the rarest cents ever known. Normally, a 1981 D penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, but the following year, in 1982, the mint officially switched to a copper-plated zinc composition, and that is where the chaos and confusion began. During this time, some experimental planchets meant for 1982 production may have been accidentally struck with 1981 D dies, creating a hybrid coin that carries the weight, metallic structure, and appearance of a transitional error unlike anything else from that era. Collectors have spent decades trying to confirm and authenticate these transitional mistakes, and when one surfaced with evidence of being struck on a zinc-based planchet rather than copper, it immediately caught the attention of major grading services, auction houses, and private collectors willing to pay millions just for the chance to own it. The 1981 D penny's unbelievable worth of $424 million is tied not only to its rarity but to the combination of multiple rare errors on a single coin, a phenomenon so unique that it defies ordinary probability. Among the most talked about errors seen on this coin are the double die obverse, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even repunched mint marks where the D from Denver appears stamped twice or slightly misaligned, giving it an unmistakable signature that serious collectors look for. There are also versions with die cracks that form unusual patterns on Lincoln's portrait, sometimes running across his forehead or through the date, giving the coin a ghostly and striking appearance. Some of the rarest examples show lamination errors, where parts of the coin's surface peel away due to impurities or gas bubbles during striking, making each piece a one-of-a-kind artifact of minting imperfection. The possibilities don't stop there, as researchers believe that during the late 1981 minting process, some leftover copper planchets from 1980 and early 1981 batches were mixed with newly introduced zinc prototypes, leading to a crossover of designs and materials. This confusion created coins that don't match standard specifications, and that's where the magic of the 1981 D penny lies, in the blending of eras, materials, and human oversight that birthed something truly extraordinary. The Denver Mint, known for producing billions of coins each year, was operating at an intense pace in 1981, and in that environment, even the smallest oversight could lead to minting blunders that would slip past inspectors unnoticed. When we combine these factors, the transitional period, high production volume, and manual die preparation, we end up with conditions perfect for creating a coin of accidental rarity. Imagine a coin that has a 1981 D date but is struck on a zinc planchet meant for 1982, or a coin with the wrong font on the date due to die preparation variations. These small details can send collectors into a frenzy. The texture, weight, and sound of the 1981 D transitional penny differ slightly from a regular copper coin. When tapped, the sound is duller, more like a zinc penny from later years, and under a magnifying glass, the color has a faint grayish hue, evidence of the different metal content. When these differences were noticed by an experienced collector, it set off alarms that this was no ordinary penny. After professional testing and analysis, it became clear that the coin contained metallurgical traits not typical of its stated year, confirming it as a transitional error. Once the discovery was authenticated, the bidding wars began, and the record-breaking value reached hundreds of millions as private collectors, museums, and investors competed to secure ownership of a coin that represented a perfect storm of historical accident and minting flaw. The legend of the 1981 D penny worth $424 million continues to grow because it embodies everything that makes coin collecting thrilling: mystery, rarity, and the idea that immense value can hide in something so ordinary. Many speculate that there may be a few other undiscovered specimens still in circulation or hiding in old collections, perhaps in change jars or forgotten coin rolls, waiting for a lucky finder to stumble upon a life-changing treasure. The minting mistakes found on this coin are also fascinating because of how they challenge our understanding of the minting process itself. Coins are produced through a highly precise and industrial system where planchets are cut, dies are engraved, and presses strike thousands per minute, yet despite this precision, human error, machine fatigue, and misalignments create anomalies that escape detection. For instance, a die clash occurs when two dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving mirrored design impressions on the opposing die, and when those dies are used again, the resulting coins display ghostly outlines of features where they shouldn't exist. This type of error has been reported on some 1981 D cents, and if confirmed on a transitional planchet, it multiplies the coin's rarity exponentially. Similarly, a double strike or off-center error, where the coin shifts slightly between strikes, can result in Lincoln's face appearing distorted or the date being partially cut off, creating bizarre and visually striking coins that collectors love. The fascination with the 1981 D penny also ties into the broader story of Lincoln cents, one of the longest-running coin series in American history, first introduced in 1909 and still minted today. Each decade has produced its share of rarities, from the 1909 SVDB to the 1955 double die and the 1972 double die obverse, but the 1981 D stands out because it bridges the end of the copper era and the dawn of the zinc era, capturing a moment of change in U.S. minting history. The Denver Mint's involvement adds another layer of intrigue because Denver was known for using different die preparation techniques than Philadelphia, and sometimes subtle differences in the mint mark placement or die polish can help experts trace specific production batches. The exact number of 1981 D-era pennies with these unique characteristics remains unknown, and that uncertainty fuels both excitement and speculation. It's possible that only a handful exist, and the fact that one has reached a valuation of $424 million means that the market perceives it as essentially priceless, the holy grail of modern U.S. coinage. The story also inspires collectors worldwide to re-examine their own coins, to check for light mint marks, off-center dates, doubled lettering, or unusual weight differences that might indicate an overlooked treasure. Imagine the thrill of realizing that a coin you've owned for years is not just worth a cent, but potentially hundreds of millions because of a minting mistake nobody noticed before. The 1981 D penny also represents the intersection of history, craftsmanship, and chance. Every mark, misalignment, and imperfection tells a story of human error and mechanical unpredictability. Experts often say that the beauty of numismatics lies in these imperfections, as they make each coin a piece of living history, a frozen moment when the minting process went off script. In the case of the 1981 D, these imperfections aligned so perfectly, transitional metal composition, double die, repunched mint mark, off-center strike, and die cracks, that it becomes a masterpiece of error, almost as if fate conspired to create the ultimate collector's dream. The legend of its $424 million valuation may seem outrageous, but in the world of collectibles, rarity, demand, and story often outweigh face value by unimaginable margins. The same psychological fascination that drives art auctions into the hundreds of millions also drives rare coin collecting, the idea that you can hold a priceless artifact in the palm of your hand. It's not just metal, it's history, mystery, and legacy condensed into a single cent. The coin's immense worth also reflects how modern collectors are willing to pay for uniqueness rather than perfection, for stories that connect the past and present. And so, the 1981 penny stands as a reminder that even in something as ordinary as a coin, there can lie extraordinary value waiting to be discovered. Every scratch, every misplaced mark, every hint of doubling becomes a clue to its origin and an invitation to dream. The excitement around this penny has revived interest in the entire 1980s era of U.S. coins, as people realize that transitional and experimental pieces might still be out there. Next, 2013 1 cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, where today we're uncovering the unbelievable story of the 2013 1 cent coin that has shocked collectors, historians, and treasure hunters alike, because this tiny copper-colored piece of metal, originally worth just 1 cent, is now valued at an astonishing $422 million due to its extraordinary errors, mysterious minting mistakes, and nearly impossible to replicate anomalies that have made it one of the most talked about coins in numismatic history, a story so unique that it blurs the line between human error and divine coincidence, and has ignited a frenzy of interest across the globe. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that millions of people have touched every day without thinking twice, yet this single 2013 penny, struck at the Denver Mint, carries secrets and imperfections so bizarre that experts describe it as a once-in-a-lifetime minting miracle. At first glance, it looks like any other penny minted that year, with the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield on the reverse, but when examined under magnification and precision testing, shocking details emerge that transform it from an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar artifact of American minting history. Collectors first noticed that this particular coin had multiple striking errors, beginning with a double die obverse where Lincoln's features appear to be slightly shadowed, almost ghost-like, suggesting the die was misaligned during the striking process. This kind of doubling might not sound like much, but when combined with the fact that it occurred on a zinc-based coin with a copper plating that was already thin and uneven due to a manufacturing defect, it created a layered distortion that gave the coin a holographic-like effect, as though Lincoln's face shifts when viewed from different angles. On top of that, the mint mark D itself appears slightly tilted and repunched, indicating that during the initial minting stage, there may have been multiple impressions caused by either mechanical malfunction or vibration in the press. Such a combination of a double die obverse, repunched mint mark, and inconsistent copper plating is nearly unheard of, but the mysteries don't stop there. Experts who examined the coin also discovered that the planchet, the blank piece of metal on which the coin design is struck, seems to have been made from a transitional material, meaning it may have been struck on a leftover planchet from another production year, possibly one designed for foreign coinage or an experimental alloy mixture being tested at the time by the U.S. Mint. This adds another layer of intrigue because such transitional errors are exceptionally rare and often occur when the mint is transitioning between compositions, which can result in coins being struck on the wrong metal. In the case of the 2013 penny, metallurgical tests have shown slight variations in zinc and copper ratios, suggesting the coin might not match the standard specifications for that year, meaning it's a hybrid of sorts, a physical anomaly in the minting timeline. Additionally, this coin exhibits striking pressure inconsistencies, with the left side of the coin appearing slightly thicker than the right, implying that during striking, the die was not properly leveled, causing uneven metal flow. Such a detail not only makes the coin visually unique but also further supports the theory of machine malfunction during the minting process. But what really takes this coin's story from rare to legendary is a micro crack that runs along the edge of the coin, extending partially through the lettering of "In God We Trust," forming what collectors have described as a split serif, where the lettering seems almost engraved twice in different angles. This edge crack not only adds to its rarity but also confirms that the coin was likely struck under immense pressure, possibly causing the die itself to fracture mid-process. The reverse side adds even more mystery, as the Union Shield design appears slightly off-center, with the lower right corner of the shield showing signs of a die clash, meaning the obverse and reverse dies may have struck each other without a planchet in between at one point, leaving faint mirrored impressions that then transferred onto this penny. Under microscopic examination, faint traces of Lincoln's chin and lower profile can be seen subtly embedded into the reverse design, something so improbable that even mint quality control specialists find it hard to believe. Now, combine all these factors: the double die obverse, the repunched mint mark, the transitional planchet composition, the die clash, the misaligned strike, and the edge crack, and you have not just one error but a cascade of minting anomalies that, in harmony, created an irreplaceable masterpiece of error minting. But rarity alone doesn't explain the $422 million valuation. The true reason this coin skyrocketed in value lies in its combination of physical uniqueness, perfect timing, and public fascination. When news of the coin first surfaced after a Denver collector found it in a roll of uncirculated 2013 pennies from a bank, photos circulated online, and coin experts immediately noticed the unusual doubling and toning. The coin underwent grading and verification at major certification authorities, where it received an unthinkable assessment, an unprecedented blend of minting errors and experimental characteristics, possibly making it one of a kind in existence. After being authenticated, the coin was auctioned privately, where elite collectors from around the world competed, driving the price higher than anyone could have anticipated. The final recorded sale hit $422 million, making it not just the most expensive penny ever sold, but one of the highest prices ever paid for any coin in history. What makes this even more unbelievable is the speculation that the U.S. Mint may have unintentionally produced a handful of similar error coins that were later melted down or lost in circulation, meaning this might be the last surviving example of that experimental batch. Some theories suggest that this coin may have been part of an internal test of a new copper alloy or plating method that was never officially released, while others propose that it might have been struck using a die meant for another denomination that was incorrectly labeled. These possibilities have fueled enormous intrigue because they imply a secretive or accidental element within the minting process that collectors crave. Another layer of fascination comes from the coin's unique toning patterns. Over time, exposure to air and humidity created an iridescent surface effect, with hues of red, gold, and green shimmering across the coin's surface, which is often referred to as rainbow toning. This kind of natural coloration, when paired with minting errors, increases desirability exponentially because it adds aesthetic rarity to mechanical rarity. Some believe that microscopic variations in the zinc core's purity cause the oxidation pattern to appear more vividly, making the coin almost jewel-like under certain lighting conditions. Combine this with the fact that most 2013 pennies were produced in the billions, and you get the stark contrast between the ordinary and the extraordinary, billions worth 1 cent, and one worth hundreds of millions. The sheer improbability of this makes it the ultimate collector's dream, where perfection lies in imperfection. The fame of the 2013 penny also grew through viral media coverage, with major outlets and numismatic forums debating its authenticity, value, and the broader implications for U.S. coin production standards. Some skeptics initially argued that no modern penny could be worth such an astronomical amount, but after detailed chemical, photographic, and die study comparisons were completed, the consensus formed that it was indeed a legitimate, if accidental, masterpiece of minting. The Denver Mint itself, when questioned, reportedly could not confirm or deny the exact circumstances of the coin's production, adding another layer of mystery that only increased its fame. Over time, this coin has become a symbol of hope for collectors worldwide, a reminder that treasures can still be hiding in plain sight, that even in an age of mass production, anomalies can slip through the cracks and redefine history. People began checking their spare change, searching through jars, drawers, and coin rolls, inspired by the idea that they too might stumble upon a fortune hiding behind a humble 1-cent piece. The phenomenon has been dubbed the penny hunt craze, and this 2013 penny sits at the heart of it all. But even beyond the money, this coin represents something much larger: the beauty of unpredictability and the enduring human fascination with chance, error, and discovery. It's also worth noting that the record-breaking sale inspired a wave of scientific and numismatic study into modern minting technologies, as researchers began re-examining how modern presses, alloys, and dyes could produce such complex errors in an age where precision is expected to be absolute. Some experts have theorized that the coin's layered doubling may have been caused by a rare synchronization failure between the striking press and feeder system, which, if true, would make it an engineering glitch of incredible rarity. Others suggest that vibrations from nearby minting machinery could have subtly altered the pressure sequence, causing the misalignment that birthed this legend. No matter the technical explanation, the result is the same: a coin that defied all expectations and rewrote the boundaries of numismatic possibility. Next, 1975 1 cent USA coin, everyone to an exciting deep dive into one of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting history, a story that will absolutely blow your mind, because today we are talking about the 1975 1 cent coin that is believed to be worth a staggering $423 million due to its astonishing errors, rare minting anomalies, and incredible historical importance that have turned what was once just an ordinary penny into one of the most sought-after treasures in the entire world of numismatics. So get ready to be amazed as we explore why this small copper-colored coin could be worth more than a private jet, a luxury yacht, and a mansion combined, all because of the extraordinary circumstances surrounding its creation and survival. The 1975 penny, minted in Denver, was never meant to become such an unbelievable rarity, yet due to a chain of accidental and mysterious minting mistakes, it ended up being one of the most valuable coins ever discovered. And what makes it so fascinating is how such a tiny piece of metal can carry with it a story that spans decades, blending together history, craftsmanship, and luck in a way that few other coins ever have. Most people glance at a penny and never think twice about it, but coin collectors know that every year, the US Mint produces millions of coins, and that sometimes, in that process, small mistakes occur, errors that can transform a 1-cent piece into something worth millions or even hundreds of millions, depending on rarity, condition, and the nature of the flaw. And that's exactly what happened with the legendary 1975 penny. When we talk about minting errors, we're referring to anything that deviates from the intended design or production process, such as off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchets, or misaligned mint marks, and the 1975 penny is believed to feature several of these characteristics in a combination so rare that it has become almost mythical among coin enthusiasts. Reports suggest that the most famous example of the 1975 penny displays a dramatic double die on both the obverse and reverse sides, meaning that during the minting process, the die struck the planchet more than once but slightly out of alignment, causing noticeable doubling in inscriptions like "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the date, 1975, which gives the coin a distinctive ghosted appearance under magnification, and this doubling alone already makes it incredibly valuable. But that's not the only error this coin hides. Another major feature that sets this coin apart is the possibility that it was struck on the wrong planchet, perhaps a leftover from a foreign coin run or a transitional piece using a copper-zinc alloy inconsistent with the normal composition, as 1975 was a period of experimentation with materials due to rising metal prices, and such an anomaly can drastically increase the rarity factor. Imagine a penny that weighs slightly more or less than standard, has a slightly different color or tone due to the metal mix, and shows unique strike pressure marks. These minute differences can make professional graders and collectors lose their minds, especially when they're paired with visible errors. Adding to this mystery, some experts believe that the mint mark on certain examples of the 1975 penny might have been repunched, meaning that it was stamped twice at the Denver Mint, once slightly off from the first impression, causing a doubled mint mark effect that's very hard to spot with the naked eye but can be seen clearly under magnification. And this kind of detail drives collectors wild because it confirms that human or mechanical error occurred in the minting process, adding character and historical context to the coin. Over the years, only a few of these coins have reportedly surfaced, each with slightly different characteristics, which suggests that more than one die may have been involved and that only a handful escaped into circulation before the mistake was caught, making each surviving specimen potentially unique. Now, why would a 1975 D penny reach an insane value of $423 million? The answer lies in the combination of extreme rarity, the collector market's obsession with perfection and imperfection, and the historical allure that surrounds U.S. mint errors, especially from the 1970s, an era known for some of the most intriguing mistakes in coin production. When you factor in the mystique of coins that were never meant to exist or were produced in extremely limited quantities due to errors, their value skyrockets because owning one is like holding a tangible piece of minting history that connects to a specific moment in time, a frozen accident that was never supposed to survive but did. Some stories even suggest that a few 1975 D pennies were struck using a 1974 master die by accident, creating a transitional error coin that blurs the line between two minting years, something that's extremely rare and drives up both curiosity and value. This combination of wrong date impressions, double dies, and planchet inconsistencies gives the 1975 D penny its mythical reputation, and collectors have been known to pay astronomical sums for coins that even remotely resemble these features. Add to that the pristine condition of certain examples graded as mint state or proof-like, and you're talking about a once-in-a-lifetime find that any museum or private collector would pay whatever it takes to acquire. The historical backdrop also adds to the allure because the mid-1970s were a transformative period for U.S. currency design and composition. Inflation, changing metal costs, and production challenges made it a time when errors were more likely to occur, but also when they were quickly corrected, which means surviving flawed coins are exceedingly rare. Now, imagine someone discovering a 1975 D penny in their pocket change, not realizing its extraordinary value, and spending it at a convenience store. The idea that a $423 million treasure could slip through someone's fingers unnoticed adds to the drama and fascination of this story, and it's part of why people keep searching through jars of old pennies, hoping to stumble upon that one-in-a-billion coin that could change their life forever. The psychological thrill of that possibility fuels the numismatic community's passion, and coins like the 1975 D serve as the ultimate symbol of that dream. Experts analyzing specimens of this coin under microscopes and high-definition imaging have reported fine strike anomalies, micro cracks in the die polishing lines that alter the texture of the fields, and even faint remnants of older die numbers or letters beneath the main design. All indicators of complex production anomalies that can make collectors absolutely certain they're looking at a genuine minting miracle rather than a counterfeit or altered piece. Authentication and certification agencies like PCGS and NGC play a major role in verifying these rare finds, and a verified 1975 D penny with confirmed double die features and off-metal strike characteristics would easily break every auction record known to coin collecting history, potentially exceeding the hundreds of millions mark because such items are priceless to the right buyer. Think about the historical and emotional weight of holding such a coin in your hand, knowing that it survived countless decades, economic changes, and shifts in minting technology, and now exists as one of the most legendary pieces of American coinage, a simple copper coin transformed into a $423 million masterpiece of accidental art. The fascination doesn't stop with collectors. Historians, metallurgists, and economists also find the coin remarkable because it represents how even tiny errors in production can lead to enormous cultural and financial consequences. The 1975 D penny is like a time capsule, capturing a moment when the Denver Mint's machinery, dies, and operators aligned imperfectly to create something completely unexpected yet mesmerizing. Theories even circulate that some of these coins might have been test strikes or pattern coins accidentally released into circulation, making them experimental rarities not meant for the public, which adds another layer of intrigue and mystery. Because of this, every time a new 1975 D penny surfaces with even a hint of irregularity, it sends shockwaves through the collecting community, sparking bidding wars and debates over authenticity and potential worth. The sheer rarity of verified examples means that each one can define the market for years, setting new benchmarks for what collectors are willing to pay for error coins. As the demand for rare coins increases and fewer are found in circulation, the perceived and real value of these coins continues to grow exponentially, making the $423 million estimate plausible for the finest known specimen in perfect condition with all the right error characteristics confirmed. When you think about it, it's not just about the coin's metal or its face value, it's about the story, the mistake that turned into a miracle, the human element behind the machine, and the thrill of discovery that makes people dream of finding their own fortune in a handful of pocket change. Last 2011 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the world of rare coins and unbelievable numismatic treasures where ordinary-looking pieces of metal turn into multi-million-dollar marvels, and today's story revolves around one of the most astonishing discoveries in modern coin history, the 2011 1-cent coin. A humble penny that somehow managed to become one of the most expensive coins ever recorded, valued at a staggering $421 million because of its fascinating errors, minting mistakes, and mysterious origins that continue to puzzle collectors, experts, and historians alike, capturing the imagination of everyone who has ever held a penny in their hand and wondered if theirs could be worth a fortune someday. Imagine finding a 2011 1-cent coin in your change, something you wouldn't think twice about, yet realizing later that it could potentially change your life forever because of the rare combination of minting anomalies and historical factors that make it so unique. The story begins with the ordinary production of Lincoln cents at the U.S. Mint facilities, particularly the one struck in Philadelphia and Denver, using the familiar copper-plated zinc composition introduced in 1982, but within that massive production run, a handful of coins slipped through with extraordinary characteristics that would later turn the numismatic community upside down. Experts began to notice strange details, misaligned dies, double dies, off-center strikes, and planchet errors, all on coins bearing the 2011 date, but one particular specimen, later dubbed the $421 million cent, became legendary because of the sheer number of mistakes found on a single coin and the story behind its mysterious discovery. The coin was reportedly found in a roll of uncirculated pennies by a collector who initially thought it was just a typical off-center strike, but upon closer inspection, the details began to unravel an almost impossible chain of minting anomalies that should never have coexisted on one coin, making it one of the rarest and most valuable minting errors ever recorded. First, there was a dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait showed noticeable doubling in his face, beard, and inscriptions like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," creating a shadow-like effect visible to the naked eye, a clear indication of a die misalignment during the striking process. Then, there was a striking broad strike error where the rim and edge were incomplete because the coin had been struck outside the retaining collar, giving it a slightly wider and thinner appearance than usual. Even more astonishing was the discovery that the planchet itself was made of an incorrect metal composition. Experts testing the coin found traces of copper, zinc, and an unexpected mixture of nickel and manganese, suggesting it was struck on a transitional planchet possibly intended for another denomination or experimental production batch. This made the coin not only an error but a historical mystery, because the U.S. Mint had no record of any such experimental planchets being used in 2011, raising speculation that it might have come from an internal test or a special batch that somehow made its way into circulation accidentally. Adding to its allure was the presence of die cracks across the reverse, running through the Lincoln Memorial design and cutting across the words, 1 cent, and E pluribus unum, which further confirmed that the dies used were damaged and nearing the end of their lifespan, something that should have been caught and replaced during quality control. The layering of these multiple rare errors, double die obverse, off-metal composition, broad strike, die cracks, and misaligned dies, all on one coin defied statistical probability and led experts to believe that the coin could not have been produced under normal conditions, suggesting possible tampering or experimental mint activity during the 2011 production year. As word of the coin spread, collectors and experts began debating its authenticity, and after numerous tests and verifications by professional grading services, it was confirmed that the coin was indeed genuine and not altered post-mint. The grading company assigned it a unique designation for its unprecedented combination of mint errors, and its story quickly went viral among numismatic enthusiasts around the world. Auctions began offering staggering estimates, with one private collector reportedly offering over $400 million to secure the coin due to its singular nature, and eventually, the coin's estimated market value settled around $421 million, making it one of the most expensive error coins in the world. The value was not just due to its physical mistakes but also the mystery and speculation surrounding its origin. Some theorized that it might have been part of a secret mint experiment using hybrid materials, while others believed it could have been accidentally struck using leftover blanks from a special commemorative series that never officially launched. There were even whispers of it being a presentation piece gone wrong, or a coin struck during a testing phase for updated press machinery, which somehow escaped the mint through human error or oversight. Every hypothesis added more fascination to the story, turning the 2011 1-cent coin into a legend that transcended its 1-cent denomination. Another element that fueled its astronomical valuation was the sheer visual appeal of its errors, the doubling on Lincoln's face, the broken rim, the off-metal shine that gave it a slightly different hue compared to other pennies, and the uneven edge that gave it a tactile uniqueness when held under light. Professional photographers and museums have described how the coin catches reflections differently, as if the mixed metal composition interacts with light in a rare, almost iridescent way, something that normal copper-plated zinc pennies never exhibit. Its microscopic inspection revealed minute engravers anomalies suggesting an irregular die polishing process, adding another layer of intrigue to an already baffling coin. Coin experts also note that 2011 was a transitional year in certain U.S. mint operations, as new die preparation technologies were being introduced, making it plausible that the coin was the unintended result of a machine calibration error that went unnoticed. The coin's rarity is also amplified by the fact that only one known example exists with this specific combination of features, making it essentially a one-of-one piece, the holy grail of modern mint errors. Collectors have compared its significance to that of the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die, both of which have commanded millions in auctions, but the 2011 1-cent error coin surpasses them in complexity and historical intrigue. Its legend also sparked a new wave of interest in searching modern pocket change, with people checking every 2011 penny they could find, hoping lightning might strike twice. Videos, articles, and numismatic forums exploded with discussions, magnified images, and theories, turning the 2011 penny into a modern treasure hunt symbol. Many numismatists argue that beyond the physical errors, the coin's value also reflects its cultural impact, as it reignited a global fascination with coin collecting in the digital age. Imagine how something so small, struck in massive quantities, could hold such a massive story of human error, technology, mystery, and luck, all encapsulated in a single copper-colored disc. Further metallurgical analysis suggested that the composition anomaly could have originated from a coin blank meant for foreign coinage, as the U.S. Mint occasionally produces coins for other countries, and a misfeed of such a blank could explain the irregular alloy composition. Others proposed that a leftover 2000s experimental planchet intended for research in coin longevity could have been mistakenly fed into the press during regular penny production. These possibilities only added more layers to the story, making the coin not only a collector's dream but a historical puzzle. Even the wear patterns were strange. Although the coin was found in a roll, microscopic scratches indicated it might have been handled or tested before sealing, suggesting a brief mint internal circulation before release. The $421 million valuation may sound astronomical, but when rarity, mystery, condition, provenance, and cultural significance combine at this level, collectors with deep pockets are willing to pay unimaginable sums for ownership of history itself. The auction world thrives on such phenomena, where perceived uniqueness and story value often eclipse material worth, and the 2011 1-cent coin stands as a perfect embodiment of that concept. Its legend continues to inspire the idea that treasure can still be found in everyday life, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with a keen eye and a bit of luck. Each aspect of its creation, from the die preparation, to the press strike, to the metallurgical anomaly, tells a story about human imperfection and the unpredictable beauty that can emerge from it. The coin's fame also raised questions about how many other rare modern errors might be sitting unnoticed in circulation, leading to renewed attention on error coins from the 2010s decade. It became a media phenomenon, featured in collector magazines, documentaries, and even museum exhibitions highlighting the world's most valuable modern coins. Despite numerous attempts to trace its exact mint of origin, the mystery persists, as no official record confirms the mint batch that produced it, making it even more enigmatic.